Good morning or good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Today, I wanted to start the process of going through strategies that you can implement for managing and controlling medical leaves and absences in the workplace throughout the employee life cycle. Today, we're going to be talking about the employee life cycle and the role of managing leaves and accommodations from recruiting through separation. What you can tell if you look at the photos, we're starting with recruitment to pre-post testing to onboarding, and then we get to the performance management, talent management, and offboarding. So what does that really look like with AD and FEMA? What can you do differently at the front end of recruiting to assure that you are hiring the right people to begin with? Because we know now that it's 20%, 25% attrition in some organizations, and it's getting higher. So why aren't we getting the right people, and why do they want to leave, besides the challenges with managers? Let's talk about what you can do when you are posting that job as it relates to the American with Disabilities Act and the Family Medical Leave Act. So at the beginning of the employee life cycle, you are putting out a recruitment of some sort. You're putting out an announcement. Are they getting a copy of that essential function job description? Are they getting a truncated version? If they're getting a truncated version, when do they actually get the full copy of the essential function job description? And does it really clearly provide you details about the mental and physical requirements of the job? And if you haven't been there yet, go to O*NET. It has every job in the national economy on there, the physical and mental requirements, and you can beef up your job descriptions. Get really well thought out statements about the mental requirements of the different jobs that you have in your organization. So you've got a good essential function job description. Now, during the recruiting process on your employment app, does it say, did you read it? Does it ask the employee, have you read the essential function job description? And can you perform all those functions with or without accommodation? Please tell us, because this is the first step. If they say no, then is there some other job they're interested in? Is there any way you can accommodate them? And if they say no, well, then you're done. But if they say yes, you are engaging in the interactive process at the hiring stage. Now, if you've got very physical jobs, that means high experience factor workers' comp jobs where people are getting injured on a regular basis. A lot of organizations have created standard operating procedures that allow managers to make accommodation decisions based on a list of physical requirements. Oh boy, be careful with that. But irregardless of that, let's hope you have very clear job descriptions that explain those physical and mental requirements. So then when an employee is letting you know, or an applicant is letting you know they need an accommodation for that, well, that's what the ADA is for. And we're going to find everything we can to accommodate them. That's when we go to Ask Jan to get that help. So we want to make sure at the front end, during the recruitment phase, if we've got a recruiter or we've been on Craigslist or Monster or any of the different ways that we're recruiting now, does it specifically say on your employment application when they process that information that they've read the essential function job description and they can perform all the functions with or without accommodation? And then do you actually give it to them? Is there a document they can actually read? So that's stage one of the employee life cycle. And that is the first strategy to make sure your employees or potential applicants know that you're expecting them to be clear if they need an accommodation. And our employee base is learning this. Our labor market is learning these terms, sometimes incorrectly, but they are still learning them. And it's our job to make sure that we provide that opportunity for an employee to work for us if we can accommodate them. Then when we get past the stage of, yes, they said they can, and they're not quite sure if they could, they're not quite sure of the details, but they're pretty confident that they can do all these things. And they've gotten you a medical certificate. Maybe it's really clear, maybe it's not. But you've got a next step that you can always do during the recruitment process. It's called post-offer pre-hire testing. Now, this is just such a great strategy. You want to use this when you've got higher experience factory jobs What we're doing then is having very, very well developed essential function job descriptions that have the physical and mental requirements. We're partnering with a physical therapist who understands the terminology physical ability assessment, and they are testing your applicants. They're letting you know. They're not saying they have a disability. They're telling you, yes, they can do the job, or no, they can't. These are their restrictions. And that's all you want to know anyway. So this is a really, really great strategy during the recruiting process. And don't forget to interview them when they're going to be working. If they're a truck driver and they start at 4 in the morning, interview them at 4 in the morning. Those are other strategies. If you're dealing with mental competencies, get some really challenging scenarios that they have to solve in a certain period of time, because of course you've tested this with your existing staff and you know that this is a reasonable expectation and compliant with your job description expectations of performing the essential functions. But boy, can you do this testing to find out if these employees really have the competency and the ability to do your job at a meets expectations level, which includes level of productivity, everybody. So this is the front end of the employee life cycle. What we're really dealing with is the recruiting and the post pre-offer testing stage, because we don't get to onboarding till we've confirmed they've got the physical and mental ability to perform the functions of the job. And we've confirmed they've got the education to perform the functions of the job as we've determined it is necessary. And they've got the interest in performing that job, and they've let us know if they need any kind of an accommodation so we can confirm whether that's an undue hardship. So we're going to take the whole employee life cycle one step at a time. Bye, everybody. Have a good day.